Always Irish shout. Always Irish shout. Sometimes it's good to just yell about football. What are you doing? Don't do this to me, Harry! The Ohio State. It's Ohio State! What do you mean, the? It's a poison. I almost stroked out and died over it. I'm glad to be at the party. I'm mad we're this late. You ain't a captain of nothing but a sinking ship. That helps the defense without them even doing a damn thing. Doing a damn thing. The call-in line. 312-988-15. You tell Johnny all you've heard and seen. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Irish. Yeah, that's right. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Irish. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Did anybody see? 9 a.m. on the dot Monday morning and my stream is freezing? Come on, bro. Give me a break. Did anybody else see that? My face mid-yell frozen on the screen. Yeah, happy Monday morning to you. Oh, boy. Anyways, thanks for being here. Appreciate it. I see a lot of chats about the football activities yesterday. No, so it was just on my end? I don't understand. Oh, somebody says it was 9:01, not 9. Yeah, there's a lot of talk about the playoff games. You guys, I kind of wish I cared about the NFL more. For as much as I love college football, the NFL just doesn't register the same to me. It doesn't raise my blood pressure. All the things that raise John's blood pressure that you could all list off 50 of, the NFL ain't one of them. It just doesn't. Like, it's fun to watch because I love football, but it does not change my mood. Like, nothing that happens changes my mood. There's just such a corporate feel to the NFL. And I know the comeback to that's going to be, John, there's a corporate professional feel in college now too. I totally agree. I don't know. It just doesn't hit me. I'm sorry. It's just not emotional. It just doesn't hit me the same. There's not the same like vitriol. I know fans of other teams hate each other, but something about the collegiate feel of a lot of this. I need that to get into it. I don't know what it is. So I watch the games. It doesn't matter to me. I just watch to have stress-free, high-level football. I don't really care about the results. So thanks for being here, everybody. I do have a couple notes of review on both of those football games, and I see a lot of chat about it. First things first. A lot of Notre Dame guys making good plays in the playoffs all over. I see Drew Tranquil out there making plays. Hamilton's making plays. You love to see it. It does seem, maybe it's just where our guys are going, but there's been a lot of Notre Dame guys getting some flash in the postseason. And I mean, that's good to see if you're a Notre Dame guy whenever you see that. It's good to see Hamilton keep getting doubted and playing well. I don't know what you want him to do on that Kelsey, on that situation, on that throw. It seemed to be pretty good coverage. The ball's in a perfect spot. I don't know, but it's good to see our guys doing good. So let's get into some of that. And I got a Notre Dame angle I want to work here, and I want you guys to tell me if I'm right or wrong, you agree or disagree. Phone lines are up. Again, it's the off season. Everybody's kind of, I can feel it. Everybody's getting a breather. They're getting a breather here between the new year and getting into spring ball. As far as college football and Notre Dame, we're in a little lull here. And so what are people waiting for? I know some people are starting to wait on those junior day guys. Let's come back around, baby. Come back around. And so we're going to give that some time, but that is the hope that some of those junior day guys start falling Notre Dame's way, keep filling up that 25 class. So let's get into it. First off, $2 hour from Steven. Dan Campbell has a gambling problem. The man's wheeling and dealing out there. He's wheeling and dealing out there. There's no doubt about that. Live by the sword, die by the sword. I mean, geez. And yeah, I have some specific thoughts about what happened in that one too. So let's get into it. As always, happy Monday. Happy to have you all here. Thanks for being here. You can find the program on YouTube. Do hit subscribe if you haven't yet. Appreciate it very much. Give the video a thumbs up. That helps Yanni Boy out as well. Notifications on that way you alerted every time a new episode drops. I know you don't want to miss it. Twitter, search bar Always Irish, rat Always Irish Inc. Emails alwaysirishnd@gmail.com. Audio only anywhere you want it. You can get it. If you don't want to see my face, go to the audio. I do not blame you. The call-in lines, 312-988-15. You dialed up. Tell Johnny all you've heard and seen. Instagram, Facebook, Always Irish Inc. USA Today, Fighting Irish Wire. Read all about it. Patreon.com/Always Irish. Former captain, my partner, leading tackler, Mike Goolsby. What could go wrong? Me and him behind a paywall with no limitations on what we could say. I don't know. Mikey Poles says, the Kelceys are insufferable. Listen, it's just, I think people are sick of the Chiefs. If you don't love the Chiefs, you're sick of the Chiefs. And I realize there's two Kelceys and one made it and the other one didn't. It's just, even if you take the Taylor Swift part out of it, even if you would do that, people are sick of it. I just feel like people are sick of the Chiefs. If it's not your team, who gives crap about Chiefs? You might want to see something different in the playoffs. Right? Pat's saying it's estimated the Chiefs have sold an extra $333 million in merchandise because of her. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So if you want to look at it this way, oh, I'm sick of any time he makes a catch, we got to zoom into the box and there she is, whatever. Money, 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 money. Money. Everything's money. So everybody might be mad or whatever and annoyed, but if it leads to more money, then that's what they're going to do. That's what they're going to do. So I don't understand. I'm not a teenage girl, so I don't care about Taylor Swift. I can't tell you one of her songs. I know all of them are named after her ex-boyfriends. John Mayer's got one, right? Like, I don't understand. I don't care. I'm not a teenage girl. I don't care. So, big D, it's annoying. So, I would have liked to see that not be a big part of all this, but it is, but it's money. So, what do I know? They're the smart ones. They're the ones making more money off it. So, nobody cares what we think. But I would like, teenage girl, grown women are obsessed. It's creepy. I have no idea what her market is. The songs are about like teenage. Well, I don't understand. I don't know. You're asking the wrong guy to break down the Taylor Swift calendar. I don't understand. I don't understand, but I also know that I don't care. I don't care. Here's what I want. Okay, we got to put her on TV because she's dating one of the guys involved in the game. So therefore, every time, we got to show her 20 times because she has no connection to football or the Chiefs at all, other than she's hooking up with one of the players. All right, so that's what we're going to do. So, okay, follow me here. So if that's what we're doing, does it work the other way? I would like to. Did she just get done with her big worldwide tour? Just for no reason at all, they should stop her playing music and then show Kelce's highlights on the jumbo thing at her concerts. Right? I'm just trying to be fair. That's what we're going to do. And we're going to see if all those people like it. I don't know. Whatever. I don't care. It's kind of annoying, but I don't care enough to be mad about it. Like all the things I really want to be mad about, I don't care enough about that to be mad about it. I don't. It's all money. It's all money. And it all just, it all just drives it. Whatever. I don't care. But I was looking forward to having a Super Bowl without it, but I don't care enough to really yell about it. So, like, I'm not going to fake outrage on this one just to yell. But I would like all the people that are like, what do you care? Blah, 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 blah. Flip it around. That's the only thing I ask for is fairness. So the NFL people are saying, we tune in for the NFL. Don't care who the players are dating. We tuned in for football. Okay. I just asked for fairness. So I want a scenario where everybody there's doing it for music, her music, and then they play football stuff. I just want it to be fair to see the reaction the other way. Are they all going to go, oh, who cares? She's dating him, so it makes sense? I'm just asking for fairness. Okay? So if you want everybody who's tuning in for football to be subjected to girl singing person, flip it the other way around. I want to see a bunch of people tuning in just to see Taylor Swift sing that don't care about football at all, have to watch football stuff just to do it. They wouldn't like it. They wouldn't like it. I'm telling you, they wouldn't like it if a bunch of people tuned into TV for music, Taylor Swift reasons and had to watch that guy's highlights instead for no reason. They wouldn't like it. They'd say, we're here for music. But when it's flipped the other way, everybody's just supposed to every single time. Oh, Kelsey bent over and tied his cleat. Zoom up to the box. Oh, Kelsey took a leak in the bathroom. Zoom up in the box. I'm going to tell you I don't like. I'm going to tell you who I don't like. Mahomes' wife's face bothers me. I'm sorry. I don't have nothing personal against the lady or nothing. Mahomes' wife's face bothers me. She just looks like a person that I wouldn't like. I don't know. You look at that. You look at her. She looks like she would annoy me. I'm just telling you, I have nothing to go off of, but when I see her face, I don't like it. There's something there and I don't know if I would think that. I don't know if I would think that if she wasn't always by Mahomes' stupid brother or because he's annoying to the 10th degree is what that guy is. He's insufferable. He's a guy who's done nothing. But his brother's done a lot, and he runs around like he owns the city. Because his brother's good at football, and that rubs me the wrong way. And he looks like he's like a not fully formed version of Mahomes or something. I don't like that kid. But the wife, there's something there. There's something there that bugs me. And way more than Taylor Swift. At least Taylor Swift, is elite at something in her life. The girl works her ass off and is really good at what she does. What the hell does Mahomes' wife do? Don't answer that. But it's it bugs me. Blyberg, I saw that. That's mean. I'm just saying, whatever. So I'm not here for this Super Bowl to be all like this. I don't care. You know what else I've given up, you guys? I'll get to the calls. We got a couple. You know what else I've given up on? And I haven't watched in years now, and it's made me a smarter person. Not watching 1 minute of any pregame football show, other than maybe one I'm on. Do you know how happy that's made me? I encourage you guys to try it. I genuinely want you to try it. I have not watched pregame for any football in a couple years. It's a good idea. You don't learn nothing. It's just a bunch of fluff BS with all the typical angles BSPN and everybody else does. There's no need to watch a pregame show for hours and have them tell, oh, here's what's going to happen. I don't need all that. I don't value all that. They don't tell me anything I don't already know. I don't care what their predictions are. I don't care about any of it. Why is my screen delayed? Having problems today on a Monday. I don't appreciate it. You know what other problem I'm having on a Monday? Let's try and get caught up. Oh, yeah, game day. You know, I haven't watched game day in years. I'm going to tell you what else I don't like going on today. We got a boiling order for the water. You got to explain this to me. Callers have come to you. You got to explain this to me. We got a boiler alert for the water. So we get a text and it says, hey, we got flooding in the area with the snow. Something's going on. You know, you should boil all your water. It's not safe to drink. Well, what about an hour before that? Yeah, I don't understand. I don't like this. Okay, so by the time I get the alert that the water's not safe, how many hours has the water already not been safe? You feel me on that? By the time you alert me not to drink the water because it isn't safe, how long has the water not been safe before you realized it or assessed it enough and then programmed to send me this text? Now I'm over here like, what am I going to turn into a mutant because I took a shower? Going to have a third arm coming out of my head or what? So I don't like that. I'm on edge with that. It's like, bro, I don't like it. That's my question. How many hours is the water not safe by the time you inform me my water's not safe? Pat, you're right, but stop. Trying to make a larger point. It's good for you, John. It builds up the immune system. Yeah, it's the old cake and key water there. The big thing is, it's flooding, and there was the ice breaking dams up in Will County, and the ice is flooding everybody. What the hell's going on around here? No normal weather ever. $2 holler. Dan Campbell has a gambling problem. He certainly does. $10 holler. Lamar let the whole country down. Ohio State bought a team to a hot 10-2 against Saban, and Harbaugh dipped out. Tommy Boy to the Bengals. Is it the Bengals or wait? Was it the Bengals or the Browns? I forgot. Is this the most chaotic year of football yet? There's a lot of changes. I don't know if we should expect more or less of this movement as we move on into whatever the new world that college football is going to look like. I'm not sure. There's a lot of changes. Some of them give me anxiety. Some of it feels to me that college football is changing at such a fast pace. It makes me wonder if eventually that's going to burn all of us. Are you following me? Like the rapid pace of changes is so quick now, and a lot of the changes are so big. It really makes me wonder at some point, are we getting ahead of ourselves and we're all going to pay a big price by the way we rush into everything with big changes? It's just, that's a bigger picture issue in John's brain. $5 holler from the V1 rotate. Ravens in big games are like Notre Dame, good all year. And in the biggest games, the quarterback is literally throwing the ball to himself. Yeah, very athletic play, by the way. Very athletic play. Yeah, Pat, the Sox are negotiating to build a new stadium in the South Loop. Yeah, I saw that. And Pat, you know the way I think. The way I think is I hear that Sox news and I think two things. Number one is you building a new stadium is not going to make me forget or forgive that you are a disgrace of an organization who does not even try to be competitive. So that's number one. My reaction to that is, yeah, that's for real, Andrew. It's the real deal. Right by the river in the South Loop. So number one is You're not going to fool me if you build this. That's not going to make the team better. So I'm not going to get distracted by your shiny new stadium and let you get away with a shit for brains product. So that's number one. Number two is Jerry's worth billions of dollars or whatever. I don't want any tax money going to this stadium. That's the other thing. You're worth billions. Whatever, pay for it yourself. I don't want any taxes. That city's already falling apart. I don't need any taxes going to this stadium. Okay? And here's number three. Pat, you will totally understand what I'm going to say on number three. When I saw the news, Sox building a new stadium, my number one concern was, is this going to make it easier or harder for me to get in and out of the damn city in the parking lot? That's honestly my number one concern. Is it how much further into this dumb city do I got to go? How stupid is the parking going to be set up? I got used to being able to park right by the Dan Ryan, get out of there, let the bullets ricochet on the way out on the Dan Ryan. I got used to it. Exactly. Now it's going to be all squeezed in here. And I am not exaggerating when I say what I said about leaving the Sox game. I am not exaggerating. A lady 2 cars ahead of me caught a stray one and passed away. A substitute teacher leaving the ball game 2 cars ahead of me on the ramp. Dangerous. I saw a car 2 ahead of me, a white car, swerve off into the side of the Dan Ryan leaving. And then I get home and I see on the news that car, shot leaving the Sox game. Nice substitute teacher lady heading back to the suburbs. Come on. Unbelievable. It's stupid. White Sox piss me off. 224-859, the first two up. What's going on, Andrew?
Hey, what's up, John? How are you, man?
I'm good. I mean, I said I was going to relax and chill out today, not get worked up about anything, but, that's how it goes. What's on your mind, buddy?
Well, hey, just a quick note on stadium. So I like you, don't really care about the NFL anymore. And it's not because, that I actually always liked college football more than the NFL, but as a San Diego native, when the Chargers left, I could care less about the NFL. And just a note on the stadiums getting built. I totally agree. I think it's ridiculous if a city, especially like a city like Chicago that's in all this debt, if they have to pay money toward a stadium, that's ludicrous. What I will say, though, is like the one big thing that San Diego did wrong, because they had a very dysfunctional government, is don't pay for the stadium, but also don't be punks about the real estate. If there's a place for them to build a stadium, let them build it, give them a good deal on the land, but make them privately finance the stadium. Because San Diego tried to play hardball with the Chargers, and then you end up losing a team. And so where do you sit then, once you lose the team? So.
Yeah, it's interesting. You know what, man? I got to tell you, one of my favorite ballparks I visited was the San Diego. The Padres place. I like that ballpark, and I like the location where it's at in the little downtown area. I liked that place.
Yeah, it's an awesome stadium. That was actually built by taxpayers. So that's like the one example where it sort of did rejuvenate a part of the city. But it was sort of based off of fool's gold, because I don't know if you remember back in the late 90s, but the Padres were good for like 2 years. And it's because they actually, for like the first time ever, went out and spent and got players. And then as soon as the city voted in the stadium, they traded all their good players and stuff for 20 years.
I liked the area, and the downtown area is fun, and I could walk from where I was staying. I liked it. I thought it was really kind of a fun little dynamic. So I don't know about that. And then what do you make of these football games, man? You got any big takeaways from the weekend of NFL action? We got our Super Bowl set. I think most people are maybe sick of the Chiefs, unless you're a Chiefs fan. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I got like 2 takeaways, and I actually wanted to relate them to Notre Dame.
I love it. There you go.
The first one is,
you would do that.
The first one is, well, I was just thinking, and I've said this, I've actually called in before and talked about this topic, but I think it's appropriate to bring up again because of what happened. But Notre Dame's wide receiver room has been in absolute shambles, and it seemed like we're going to stabilize it at least this year with some of those veteran transfers that we got. But I will say, what it has annoyed me over the past few years, of listening to not yourself, but particularly Blue and Gold, Tim Hyde, who's a good guy and everything, but he's obsessed with Notre Dame getting good wide receivers. And it's just John, I've been a fan since my first great memory of Notre Dame was 1993 when Notre Dame beat Florida State. I've been a fan a long time. And during that time, Notre Dame has had individually good wide receivers. And we can rattle off the names. But it's been very, very rare that Notre Dame has ever been able to recruit the way that could build a wide receiver room that looked anything like, let's say, Ohio State or Alabama in 2020, something like that. So this obsession with getting great wide receivers, I think, is silly, because Notre Dame, the best thing Notre Dame does is they get great tight ends. And for God's sakes, Andy Reid has proven you can win multiple championships with a tight end as your pass first. I mean, you look at Andy Reid's career through the Eagles and Kansas City, there were times he had a couple years in Philadelphia where T.O. was his number one option. That was awesome. And then a few years where Tyreek Hill was his number one option in Kansas City. But for the vast, vast majority of his career, his number one option was the tight end. And then you could argue his number two option was throwing to the running back out of the backfield. So I just think that Notre Dame has never been great at building wide receiver rooms, but they can get tight ends. And so that's why it really kind of pissed me off last year when Parker just seemed obsessed with establishing the wide receivers when you have literally an entire room of tight ends that are awesome. Build your offense around tight ends. Stop worrying so much about throwing to the wide receivers. So I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but if you can win championships with tight ends being your number one option.
I mean, I'm always don't you understand though that that's just something people are always gonna want, and if you don't have it, people are gonna want it. I don't begrudge anybody that's saying, it'd be really nice if we had a couple really good receivers, right? People are always gonna want it, and I don't blame them for wanting it. I want it.
I'm just saying, let's be realistic. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're going to turn the tide and just build this fantastic wide receiver room. But I just think that we have never had a problem getting tight ends. That you can definitely build your. I'm not suggesting that we'd have loser wide receivers, but it's okay. Embrace tight end you.
Okay, now let me ask this. Here's another part of it too. How much of that can you get away from also when you have Mahomes as the guy that's controlling everything? That gives you more flexibility.
Well, I saw that.
Right?
I saw that note, but you know who else? All right, so there's a lot of people who think that Donovan McNabb was totally overrated, and then the only reason why he was any good was he played in Andy Reid's offense. Andy Reid went to a conference championship with I think Coy Detmer and I forget the game. A guy who played at Oregon. Forget his name, but he came in after Donovan McNabb got injured, and is it Jay Feely or something like that? But he was just a totally average quarterback. McNabb gets hurt, goes to a conference championship with him. Andy Reid also had a deep playoff run with Alex Smith. I mean, is anybody going to say that Alex Smith is some awesome quarterback? So I think you're dead wrong if you say that you need a Pat Mahomes to win, to actually just be a very good team.
Okay, what about this one? What about this one? What if I just said, all right, we've been doing it this way, and we found out that the offense is too limited, and so there's all the proof you need, because against good defenses, the offense is very limited, and it shows that you need to have more to threaten a defense with. Is that not a good response to your position?
Well, if you're asking me, would I rather have an awesome wide receiver room?
or not? You're going to say sure.
Of course, I want an awesome wide receiver room. What I'm trying to propose to you is dudes from Florida, dudes from Texas, and dudes from California, the great wide receivers, and the South, they don't really love going to South Bend. Once in a while, we can pluck one of those guys.
The weather's lovely. What are you talking about?
I know, exactly. Or I'm sorry, let's just be honest. The guys who run 4.240, they may not get 1,500 on their SAT score. So it's hard to land those guys. But you know what? Tight ends are kind of like offensive linemen. They do get good grades, and Notre Dame can attract them. And so it's like, instead of just worrying so much about wide receivers, it's like Andy Reid has got a proven model for you of winning. So why don't you build your offense like an Andy Reid offense instead of just worrying about trying to, have this awesome wide receiver room? Maybe I'm wrong on this.
And then
I'm just
you know
saying
what
that,
else I think of too? Tell me if this is in your brain when you're calculating this thought too, is here's another part of it is I'm not saying Notre Dame needs like the elite of the elite, like wide receiver lineup, but it does need to be good enough that a defense needs to count it as a threat and make it a part of their defensive equation to be able to free everything up. Like, is there not wiggle room in this? Like when you say, what you need a wide receiver,
definitely.
Like I don't need Notre Dame.
You
They're
can't
not
have
going
a bunch of jokers.
Yeah, it's not going to be Ohio State and Georgia type talent, but it also just can't be so bad that the defense can almost just not take it seriously and then zone in on the tight end, zone in, crash in the line on the running plays because there's no other threat. So it doesn't have to be Ohio State. It has to be good enough that a defense has to at least worry about or respect it in their planning. Otherwise, it's going to take away the stuff you want to do. Run the ball, throw to the tight ends. If that's all they have to zone in on.
Yeah, I agree with you. And in fact, I think, again, Notre Dame should take a page out of Andy Reid's book because even though he's not been able to replace anywhere close to replace Tyreek Hill after Tyreek Hill left the Chiefs, look at the Chiefs wide receiver room. They're really these kind of like these small, shifty, fast guys. And so, like, I think maybe Notre Dame might be onto something with guys like Faison. So, like, maybe instead of just like going for trying to land like elite wide receivers, maybe take a page out of Andy Reid's book. Versatile. Who cares if they're like super big, but like small, shifty guys, and that can sort of offset your big tight ends. Because somebody said in the chat, like, didn't Parker do that with Mitchell Evans? And I would argue, no. Like, anytime he targeted Mitchell Evans in any extensive way, it was like begrudgingly. It was after they had failed to try to establish the wide receivers. Like, I think about like the NC State game where we just come out and just do nothing for like the first 4 or 5 drives, and they're stacking a box, and our wide receivers cannot get off the press coverage. Ohio State, we get shut out in the first half, and then they start going to Mitchell Evans. It's like, it's ridiculous. And then like also the kid who transfers, the backup tight end, Holden Stays.
Yeah, like
he comes out against NC State and legitimately looks like Antonio Gates, and then we don't ever see that ever again. Some Notre Dame commentators are put that on Stays, and it's just like, to me, it's like, how can a guy show that much talent and you don't have multiple packages for a guy like that? So yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong on this, but I just think that if you've got all the talent in the tight
Andrew,
room,
I gotta tell you, man, of all of our interactions, going on years now, on my bingo card list, I did not have you calling in saying, it's not the biggest deal in the world if Notre Dame isn't loading up on talent somewhere. It's just a take I didn't expect from you, my friend. I get your point. I just didn't expect that from you.
Well, hey, the chat disagrees with me, but I'm just being a realist. I'm just saying I don't expect. I'll end on this is that Denbrock. I think he's a lot smarter than Parker and has a lot more confidence in his own play calling, and he'll scheme to the guys that are actually good instead of like doing what he thinks he needs to do. So,
Yeah, man. Hey, I get what you're saying, and my middle ground is I don't need Ohio State's wide receiver roster, but it has to be respectable enough that a defense must account for it and respect it. Otherwise, it's going to limit all the other things you do want to do with your backs and your tight ends. And I think we're working towards that, Andrew. I think you're going to see an improved group this next year, and I think it'll make a big difference. So I don't know, man. We'll see.
The second point, just real quick, I wanted to make is, somebody had an interesting super chat on Friday and asked you, what are some of the pitfalls? Basically, it was like, what is the potential pitfall for 2024? And I think you answered it exactly right. Like, what if Riley Leonard got injured. That's how I would answer it. But I did have a second player that I think is totally essential to the success in 2024. And I think you can relate it to the, just like this game, the playoff games in general. And it's Ben Morrison. I think Ben Morrison is so key to Notre Dame's defense. Cause like, it's weird. When I grew up, like I always felt like a great defense is almost like how Bill Parcells used to build them. It's from the front to the back. Like you have to have a ferocious pass rush, and that sort of starts everything. But weirdly, last year Notre Dame was a top 10 defense, and it really started from the back forward. And no offense to Xavier Watts, who had an awesome year and is a total playmaker, I think that Notre Dame's defense, started with Ben Morrison. You can put Ben Morrison on anybody's number one, player, and he's going to just put you on lock. And we saw that. Like, look at what Marvin Harrison did to basically everybody else in the Big Ten and didn't do anything against Notre Dame. And so my big thing is we've got to keep Ben Morrison healthy. And then what is Ben Morrison's mindset coming into this year? Because sometimes it can be poisonous where somebody's telling you you have a first round grade. And if Ben Morrison gets a little nick, is he going to try to sit out and stuff like that? Because if that happens, like, I get everybody's hyping up these other corners we're bringing in, but it's just like, it is so hard to have a first round talent at corner, especially at a place like Notre Dame. So I just think that we need him 100% healthy, because I think he makes that entire secondary. And in fact, there were a couple picks that Xavier Watt had off of Ben Morrison tip ball. And so just like, he got all the love, but I think the real talent, the real deal is Ben Morrison. We got to keep him in there. And then I just think that Ben Morrison could not have covered Travis Kelce, because you don't put a corner on a tight end. But I just think in general, like, if a team has like a Darrelle Revis on their team, like you're instantly a playoff type defense. And we saw that when like the Jets used to make the playoffs in the 2000s. Like, he was their best player on defense, and he put the best wide receiver on total lock. Couldn't even look in that direction. It's a huge advantage. So we just kind of make sure that Ben Morrison is totally plugged into 2024, that he stays healthy, and then maybe we can run the table. So
it'll be the other thing you don't want is a little Kyle Hamilton nicked up, shut it down, get ready for the NFL halfway through that last year. You don't want that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I worry about, because he has to come back for this year.
Right.
And now they literally have agents now. And so, and if people are telling him you're a first round grade,
it's a wild new world.
Don't get hurt.
It's a wild new
world. You know
world.
what I mean? Like, and we saw that with that Ohio State wide receiver 2 years ago. I think he could have played, and he kind of sat it out, because he's like, why would I do that? I'm going to cost myself millions if I get hurt. So
it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting for sure. So Andrew, hey, thanks for calling me, buddy, man. Good start to the Monday. Have a good week.
Hey, thanks, John.
Take care. Couple chats and we'll get right back to it. The Ohio podcast. Ohio State's wide receiver room is great, but where's that running game been? You need balance. And if your tight end can help both, then embrace it. Yeah, well, you got the big run, the big one run you needed against us. So you had that one. Bad run fit there for sure. That was a bad one. Ohio podcast, I owe you a phone call. Was supposed to be this weekend, was planning on yesterday. The wife works in emergency surgery. And apparently there was more stabbings than a fencing tournament. Stabbing. She was doing surgery for all day, which means I'm on kid duty when she gets called in and doing that. So I'm not kidding. I don't know if it was all the same gang fight or what, but I'm serious. More stabbing than the final round of the college fencing tournament. I don't understand, but that's what people were doing all weekend. So patching them up, and that means Johnny's on kid duty, and I wasn't going to make you listen to my kid yelling in the background, Ohio pod. So I owe you one on that. 859, you're on the line. What's going on? Good morning.
How you doing, John? You know where I'm going.
Where are you going? Bring me with you. I'm scared to know where we're going, though, buddy.
The scheduling. If that's true, if they're going to put us to make us go from the East Coast to the West Coast instead of keeping that as an open bye week, then I'm done.
Wait. Wait, what did I miss? Did news break since I went live about what they're doing with the 12th game and I missed it? I do not know what you're talking about right now. Did I miss something?
Where they're going to put that Army game. You know, it was weird. It was going to be week 0 initially, but then Army had a contractual issue. But it's been in the works that no, they're going to make it part of the Shamrock series and put it week 12, which is right before right now we have a bye week before USC.
Yeah.
Okay. And I pulled up our schedule. We told them we'd give them 2 night games. Well, you know they're going to put Florida State at night. You could argue that damn bird, but they're going to put this part of the Big Ten lead in. I've already thought about this. I sent you enough text yesterday. I lost my mind. I guarantee this is going to break. We're going to be their little stepchild. We're going to play Army in Yankee Stadium the week before Thanksgiving. The New York Subway alumni. It's filler. This is a pod plant because why haven't we gotten the money yet? No, it's not about winning the title. So you're going to go make us go to the East Coast, then the next week go to the West Coast. Remember how much you bitched, and I'm not going to cuss, bitched about the whole schedule set up last year? We're doing it to ourselves again.
Dude, man, I just love that every time you call, there's something on your target list. And then you just you light the wick and then it just burns and then you go and then you go and then you go. And I love it, man. You never let up. It's always something. What do you mean you're done? You're not going to be done with Notre Dame football because you don't like what week we're playing Army, Tim. I know you're not going to be done.
I'm done. No, I'm done with the people not caring. Not football. You lost your mind. I'm done with the people stop caring. It drives me nuts. How do you not freaking care? You know how I root for an NFL team, John? How many ND guys I have on their damn team?
Yeah.
You want to go there? And that's true. I sent you enough text. But hang on. You know what? You can use it as a recruiting ploy. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
You pop that up. Let's go to the wide receiver room. Let's put up the Tim Brown Club. Because I'm not going to apologize for picking Notre Dame to go to a great university. See, back in the 80s when we cared, when we didn't become, I don't want to get political, when we used to care about the school and not being socially correct and being woke, we cared. When you lost, you were depressed. Now we don't care. I'm not going to go another avenue because when we got more female-oriented, people didn't care they could hook up. No, they didn't care. They didn't care. When it was at Notre Dame, when I was there, it was 10 guys for every girl. And they ruled the world. They ruled the world. You want to understand why we cared about football? That's why.
Man. Dude, I'm never prepared for wherever you're going to bring it. I'm never prepared. I have no idea where you're going to go, man. In a lot of ways, you're the best caller because I just never know. I never know what avenue we're going to go down. And it's it's football, but then the next time it turns into the social scene at Notre Dame connecting to football. Dude, I just never know where you're going to go. It really keeps me on my toes when you call in. It's healthy for my brain because I got to be prepared for everything when you call.
Because I've lived it all, John. You got to understand how many people out there can sit there and say they had a dad that graduated in 1942. I've seen us win through 3 generations.
Yeah.
They can't. Or the only place they wanted to pick was Notre Dame. This isn't, maybe I'll go there. You recruit me hard enough. Or it affects your mood. And but the thing is, I'm depressed because you're putting us the East, the West Coast. I don't get why people don't care. That wine and cheese coop, I would have hit, not that I've ever thrown a punch in my life, but I would hit one of those wine and cheese clouds. I'd cuss them out.
Tim, can you come to one of my tailgates, man? Seriously,
no,
I
dude,
just want to meet you. I just want to meet you. I want you to come to one of the tailgates, drink a couple beers, and we're gonna hash it out, brother. We're gonna hash it out, brother.
You know what's funny about this? It's tax season for me, so that's my expertise. So I do about 40 or 45 free tax returns for people. And when a guy was over to put me on to you, because I'm old. He's on Twitter, and he found it. He goes, "Oh, Tim, you're going to love this guy." He goes, "Tim, remember I told you the North Carolina story? Well, he was one of the guys where we're honestly contemplating coming to the blue gold game because we don't want to do the whole headache of we don't care about that. We're going to go, he loves the linebacker. So we want to go to your tailgate. I'm assuming we're all invited. It's three people. And we want to go meet you because I like to meet you in person. And then we're not go to the game and then go to the linebacker."
It sounds beautiful.
We're putting that into motion. Because I don't want to go back to, even if you did no, I don't. We've talked about that. Even my close friends, we used to go back for one game a year after we got out. And it lost a lot of lesson for me when my dad died. But it's like, why? You got the headache. You don't get to hang out and talk. And then you're stressed out because my mom would go, "Oh, we have a great trip." My dad and I would look, I swear to God this, John, we'd turn around and said, "The only way this is a successful trip is if we win." Yeah. That's how I grew up. And that's how, no, you want to be safe. Don't get me wrong on that, because trust me, there's a few times when I drove back and I drive that it was dicey, but all that mattered was win. Oh, you get to hang out. No, it's about winning the damn game. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's, I'm going to say this though. I'll give you this. And I do admit this, and I'm a harsh judge of this. I do feel like the crowd's getting a little better. And I'm a very, very harsh judge. It is not, the Big House, Penn State. Like, it's not any of that. It's not Georgia, whatever. It's getting better, Tim. It really is. And I think some of it is getting a little better. They're finding people are getting a little louder. I do give them credit. It does depend on the moment. Like, I'm not talking about when I was there for Central Michigan at 1:30. There was no energy. You could hear a fly drop. But I mean, like, for the bigger games at night that they build up, it is getting louder. It's getting to be a better environment, little by little.
I'll give you that, but you got to understand my perspective. Let's put it this way. I'm sitting on the 50-yard line, Miami. When that fight broke out in that tunnel, the stands were ready. They would have had to bring in the National Guard because that stadium was ready to wrap. I'm a senior. It was unreal. You got to realize how much we hated Jimmy Johnson and the boys. I would chew when he was coaching the NFL. Oh, I hated that. Like the little clowns that went from USC to the NFL. No, that was bad. The other great stadium environment was '93 when we played Florida State. Those were the two best crowds ever. Or I'll give you maybe one when we played Michigan my freshman or senior year when we had to quiet the crowd. They threatened to throw 2 penalties on us because the crowd noise was that loud. Yep. Go back and research that. But if you want the history of Notre Dame football, I think I don't know what outside of Dr. John. I think your age demographics probably, would you guess? I know you can't get that off the thing. It's probably 30 to maybe 40. Go back and do the history, and you want to do some research. How much hatred there was for Miami in the era that I was because they embarrassed us. They didn't like us. You want to talk about SC being anti-Notre Dame and not stand for. I call them the criminals. Look, when they showed up in their fatigues, give me a break.
Man, you're a walking history lesson of animosity. I love it. I love it, man. And it is funny to think of that loud crowd and they couldn't get the play in. And it's like they're telling the crowd to calm down. I don't think younger.
Hell no. We went louder.
I don't think younger people, Tim, younger people would not even understand what they're seeing in that clip. That sequence where they're literally like giving them free timeouts because we're too loud at our home place. Like, I don't think younger people understand that.
I was at the game.
It was wild. Yeah, that's wild. Absolutely wild.
But they don't.
And it was the old building. Tim, that's the other thing. That was the old building, and it got way louder.
I know.
It got way louder than the 2 renovated buildings that hold more people and more noise. The old little original Rockney Bowl was all you needed when it was filled with all lunatics like us.
Yeah, well, and the problem is we're not at your dad's generation, but my generation's getting close. I mean, luckily I have not lost anybody that's close to me. I had one close friend that died at 50, but, we're getting close. I mean, and it's just depressing. Would you please, for the love of God, it's about your money. This was a plant. If we do that where we actually have to go to the Yankee Stadium, and I'm a Yankee fan, that's another whole long story. And I'll tie this out. I hated the Braves, that chant, because that reminded me of Florida State. So when the Yankees came in and kicked their ass and I shut that damn chant up, I was happy. I couldn't stand the Braves. But if we have to go to the Yankee Stadium and then come home and then go out to the West Coast, and let's say we get to 11-1, because it's all about seeding. Do the math.
Yeah.
We only can get a 5 seed. Okay. We get the 12 seed at home. Great first week. It's money. That's all I care about. But here's the key. It's that second round. You don't want the 1 seed. You want the 4 seed. You're getting the weakest of the 4.
Yeah.
And if they're going to stack it where it's all those conference champions, take the weakest conference. Are you kidding me? And not to schedule that. So either Captain Jack did this, because I'm still trying to figure out, is he still running it till March, or is he staying to June? When is he doing it? How do you make $5 million a year and get to work from home? You're an AD. How the hell do you call that job in? You don't care.
Man, I'm telling you, I share with you. I share with you a little of that anxiety about the playoff thing. I hope we don't get down the road and really regret that Jack agreed to that no buy thing. I have a little anxiety about how this is all going to shape out in practicality. Like, not that I'm worried, but I just have a little anxiety that this is such a big change. And I hope Notre Dame's positioned well to be able to function within it's just causing me a little anxiety with such a big change. And then Notre Dame being an outlier within the group. It's causing me a little anxiety. I want to see how it's going to go.
But here's how I
It's
grew
all
up.
about the seeding, Tim. You're right. It's all about the seeding and how you set up.
But it also used to be about winning.
Yeah.
You said, and look how I grew up. You just had to win one big game at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Okay, then fine, I get it. Then you had the BCS. Then you had to win 2 games. Now you've got to go 4.
Yeah.
Let's logically think this. You got to go 4.
Yep.
And we said the only way we're going to do that is one of these quarterbacks takes off and he puts the team on his back. We've built a good enough defense. We've seen this. Hamilton has played well. That's a recruiting play. I love the fact he did that. And I don't like, we won't go into Taylor Swift because we don't want to go political. I'm sick of that either. But I love the fact Tranquil. I loved him. You want to talk about that's brilliant? He's got a damn master's in engineering from Notre Dame. If you're Notre Dame, and they're smart enough to know that, here, we're in the NFL. Let's go here. Let's go with our other guys. But the other thing they should look up, and they should be showing, when Lou Holtz took a team to the Japan Bowl, they did a list. And ask your buddy, because he's a little past that. But how successful our guys are. They're doctors. They're CEOs. They're vice presidents. Let's look at that. That's what I'm showing a damn family.
Hey, Tim.
Let's look at our history.
Tim, what was that? Was that the Tokyo Bowl or something where Lou was the coach?
Yeah.
Okay, so Goolsby was the captain of that Notre Dame team under Lou Holtz. And Goolsby got to be with Lou and be the captain of that team on the Notre Dame side and all that. And that was his time to overlap being coached by Lou, since he missed that window on the field and came later. And he said it was amazing. And that Lou just has that it factor as a coach where you just genuflect, you buy in, and you want to see what Lou's telling you to do. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Like my dad was there. He was a senior when Frank came in. And they use it to describe the taskmaster. That's what Leahy was. He would accept nothing but perfection.
Yep.
And we went from that to let's just hire whatever. We have a guy that didn't. We were too stupid to background his resume. And I won't go into the 3 nicknames of the 3 clowns that came in after that.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to go politically wrong. Yep. He cared. We cared. They built that. We've talked numerous times when I've called you in. They forget their roots. How do these arrogant people get in charge of Notre Dame that forget your freaking roots? You don't have your job, your prestige, all your money, all your damn big buildings. One reason, you were a small Catholic school that became legendary. I have a good Catholic school I would have gone to. I wasn't going to pay the executive fees. I would have gone to Xavier. I'm 10 minutes from Xavier. I wanted to go to one place, and that's what drives me nuts. These people don't care. They don't give a damn. Oh, we're happy. Oh, let's just not care. Well, now we made it even tougher. So they sold us out because now let's just make the playoffs. Oh, we're going to have a successful year if we get into the first round. That's what we've settled for now? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it is. It is going to be interesting to see how the bar of what we deem to be a good season ends up being. I have a feeling just making the playoff ain't going to cut it. Like this next year, people need a playoff entry, and you got to win a game to have it be a really good, a successful year, right? You must.
And by the way, and I know it's a stressful game because it's SEC, but let's go back in the 90s when we were thriving. We kicked A&M's ass every which way but Sunday twice in the bowl because I was at both of them in the Cotton Bowl. A&M, when did A&M become a freaking power?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a tough game. Okay, don't get me wrong. But this schedule sets up. Now, depending what they do with that 12, but you should analyze that. Please give us the best chance to win. Don't keep that fight open for that horse because SC is always going to have talent.
Yeah.
I mean, they are.
Hey, Tim.
Why would you do that to yourself?
Adam, thanks for the $5 holler. He says the last time we did coast to coast and played in Yankee Stadium before USC, we went undefeated and made the playoff. Maybe that'll be a good luck charm if we do it again, Tim. Get on board, buddy.
Well,
you don't like it.
You know what?
You don't like it.
Maybe I'm wrong. I just would you rather play week 0, get a game under your belt, or go coast to coast with a new quarterback?
Yeah, especially against a team like Army, that would be a perfect week 0 thing. I think I would prefer that, but whatever. I don't know how all that works out.
By the way, look how we play after we play option teams. Look at our winning percentages after we play Navy. It's not good over the years.
Yeah, man, Tim, that's a lot of ground covered, And here's the other thing I'm going to wrap up with this. I got to say that blows my mind about you. You're like this with all the Notre Dame sports, man. I do not know how I don't know how you do this and are still alive with every sport. It's like it's one thing with Notre Dame football, but when the basketball team does something dumb, boom, there's those text messages of F words. When the ladies team doesn't win, there's a big paragraph with F words. Tim, I love how much you love Notre Dame sports, my friend. I love it. You scare me sometimes, but in a good way. I love it. Keeps me on my damn toes. Keeps me on my toes, brother. I love it.
All right, dude. You have a great day. I told you I was going to call in. So, hey, shout out. They took care of business. I don't know what the hell they were doing Thursday night at home, but if that team showed up on Saturday, the way they played against UConn, and you know how much that clown hates us, Gino. He hates Notre Dame. That's a big rivalry. If they play like that, then maybe do a tournament run. God love them. I mean, I don't know. I mean, yeah. And by the way, and the last point, supposedly we are loaded at lacrosse because I have a good friend that was best man at his wedding. It lives in Maryland, and our roster is top to bottom. So here's the thing: keep our football players healthy. Yeah. Don't hurt our wide receiver. We need him.
Yeah. Man. All right, Tim. That was a very well-rounded call to start the week. I want to see it, that blue and gold tailgate, man. Drink a couple beers and calm the blood pressure down. And that's me saying it. That's how messed up this phone call was, Tim. I am telling someone else here to drink a couple and calm down. That's how far you've gone.
Love you, John. Take care. God bless.
Have a good week, brother. Take care. Like, dude, you know something's messed up when I am the one being like, dude, you should just calm down and have a beer or two. I don't know, man. I don't know. And then the thing with Gino, and listen, I'm not trying to be a bad guy. I have no angle with this. I'm just throwing it out there. It's always interesting to me, a guy like Gino that's like a grown man and he's coaching the women's team. That's always interesting to me. Like, I just picture, it's just interesting to me, like a guy that's a guy but relates to coaching the women. It's all just, that's weird to me, how that all connects, but they're all on the same page and it all works. I just feel like it's a weird dynamic. Like, oh, team, all right, we're all good to go. Like, let's go beat Notre Dame. And then you're like, okay, now I'm going to leave so you can get ready for the game. And then I'll come back later and we'll yell. It's just weird. I've always just thought that's a weird dynamic. But what do I know? I don't know nothing. (574-818) 574. Give me some more good morning from South Bend, it looks like. What's going on?
Hello?
Hello. You're on.
You can hear me?
Yeah, good morning. You're on the air. What's going
Hey,
on?
how you doing?
I'm doing good. Welcome to the program.
What's up, man?
What's up?
Yeah, I am from South Bend. How can you see that?
It's not magic, but on my call-in program, I get the area code, and I just know that 574.
All right, cool. Yeah, what's up with you, man? How you doing? How's your morning going?
I'm doing very well. We're covering all our angles here. Talked a little bit about the NFL, talking a little bit about Notre Dame and where we want them to go. What's on your mind today?
Man, we was watching the games yesterday. I wish Kyle Hamilton went to the Super Bowl, but
yeah,
it's all good. We got Drew Tranquil in the Super Bowl.
Man, it is nice to see our guys succeeding in the league, getting that attention. And Hamilton's gotten a lot of attention this year. I saw a good interview with Tranquil. I like it, man. We have a lot of guys that are making big moves in the NFL. It feels like they're getting noticed a little more. Maybe it's just because the teams are on or making it further along in a playoff push. But I've seen a lot of our guys get a lot of attention. And that's good.
I really usually don't see that at all.
Yeah.
Where they hyping up Notre Dame guys.
Yep. And the Hamilton thing, do you remember when he got drafted? I don't know if you're on Twitter or not, but everybody.
Yeah, hell yeah.
But wasted pick, wasted
pick,
slow. Yeah, wasted pick. He's a slow Notre Dame guy. Don't waste a pick on this dude. And you know what, man? People were deleting that shit all year. They were deleting those hot because they didn't want to be on Cold Takes Exposed. They were deleting them.
Probably the best DB in the class. I think that was the class with Sauce Gardner, though, so.
Yeah,
I mean, he was one of the best fucking prospects in that class, though.
It's really, really good to see, and I want more of our guys to get that attention and the leverage. But the one thing that bothers me, man, is sometimes it frustrates me when they're like, "Look at how many guys Notre Dame puts in the league, and we have all these guys playing in the playoffs, and we have all this talent, this pipeline to the NFL." And then I want to say, well, if we have that much, why don't they ever win anything as a group when they're at Notre Dame before they go to the NFL? Damn it. Like, selfishly, man, that's where my mind goes. Like, I know it's complicated,
man,
but selfishly, I'm like, bro, we have so many guys going to the league. Can't they win some when they're here before they leave? It'd be nice.
Right. Some of them were on the same team. That 2020 team was stacked, man. The 2018 team was stacked, too.
Yeah.
Just stacked with NFL guys.
Yeah, so that would be nice. And then bringing it forward to Notre Dame, we got a little time here before spring ball. What do you think of the state of the program? I don't believe we've spoken before. I don't see your number on the previous call list. So I'd like to know
this is my first time calling.
Yeah, it looked like that. So I wanted to make sure I got to you. And I would like to know where you think we're sitting as we enter this really important year 3 for Freeman in the program. Where do you think the program's at right now, getting ready to head into this spring session?
Honestly, man, I've never been more excited about an off-season, season in general in my whole life. I mean, I'm a younger Notre Dame fan than most Notre Dame fans that I see. Like, I'm only 19, so I wasn't alive for the glory days of Notre Dame.
Yeah.
I've only been alive for the fucking getting shit on.
Hey, let me tell you this, buddy.
Man, I'm excited.
You're 19. I'm double your age, and I don't remember Notre Dame winning anything either. Okay, buddy? I was too young in 88 to remember it. So add on your lifetime and another one of your lifetime, and I haven't seen us do anything either. And it's time for that to end.
That's so crazy, man.
I know what you want. I know what you want.
Like,
I know what you want. You're a local South Bend guy. You want to be in Notre Dame Stadium next December 20th for a night home playoff game, baby.
Home game, playoff game. Oh, my man.
Woo! That's what I'm talking about.
I'll pre-buy them tickets.
That's what I'm talking about. Ooh, I don't even want to know how much those are going to cost. But that's the key, man. Notre Dame gets the 5 seed, whether that's 12-0, 11-1. Then you would probably host the non-Power 5 group of 5 team that makes it as the 12 seed. You get him at home in the freezing ass cold on December 20th. Then you could go to a neutral site against the lowest rated Power 5 conference champ. That's Notre Dame's path. That's the easiest it's going to get. And even then, it ain't easy. You got to win 4.
All right.
So I don't know, man.
At that.
What do you feel about the recruiting? Do you feel like Freeman's increasing the talent and the depth? Are you seeing a big? Just be honest. Are you seeing a big difference between the way these guys recruit and the Kelly regime and the guys before that? Are you seeing a real tangible difference?
100%. 100 is a complete difference. Like, I mean, I know Brian Kelly. He's getting good recruits at LSU, but he doesn't have to put as much effort as he did when he was at Notre Dame.
Yeah, it's LSU.
And at Notre Dame, he did not put effort at all.
Yeah.
In recruiting, at least. Barely put no effort. Marcus Freeman, this man, we had a junior day. Literally the next day, he's off on the road recruiting again.
Yep.
And he's recruiting and he's visiting people that were at the junior day just to make sure they're all good at all times. Like,
yeah,
I love that.
They work, man. They work. They're creative. They work. They grind. It's and you know what I feel like, man? The first 2 years of the Freeman era were really rocky, up and down, a lot of challenges, huge mood swings, good and bad, like really, really an emotional roller coaster. On the field, it was hard. Off the field, there was a lot of behind the scenes things going on with the staff and all these different things. I feel like it's about to start turning over, right? Don't I feel like we should be through the hardest parts of the Freeman era, and now we should start seeing some of the results of all that grind.
For sure, bro. Like that's the first year that he had his first year. I didn't even think we were going to win that many games, if I'm being honest with you. With Tyler Buckner,
yeah,
and I did not like. I mean, I did not. I like Buckner, but this man was a pick machine, bro.
Yeah,
and Drew Pond was all right,
bro. Dude, what if there's anything I don't want our starting quarterback to be described as? It's a pick six machine, bro. Like I don't want that. No.
When he was like the freshman to Cone, I liked him a little more than Cone just because he could move a little bit. Cone was just staying in the pocket, taking sacks, but he could throw the ball. But man, and that whole year, like I didn't even think we were going to win that many games. And for us to pull out the 9 wins that we did, dude.
Yeah.
After losing to Marshall and Stanford.
So do you feel like you've seen Freeman evolve and develop at a pace that is acceptable and comfortable to you? You know, we know he has the work ethic and the relationship skills and all that, but do you feel like you're seeing him as a new, younger coach develop on the fly? Like, are you seeing evidence of that makes you feel more comfortable?
Yeah, I definitely think so. Because he knows what this season's about. He definitely knows what this season's about. This third year of Notre Dame coaches, he got Mike Denbrock. He got the strength coordinator Lauren Lando or whatever his name is, and then he got another LSU analyst, whatever his name is, to work with Denbrock. Like, he knows what this season's about. He knew that the OC Jared, that's his man, like that's his guy. But come on, Marcus Freeman knew Jared was selling the bag versus the top teams, bro. He knew damn well.
Yeah,
versus that Clemson game, that whole fourth quarter. Like, what are you even doing?
Yeah, it was rough. So then let me ask you this: how do you feel about Texas A&M Week 1? Notre Dame and SEC country in a hostile environment in a night road game. Everybody watching. It's Week 1. It's gonna be hot and humid in the South. What do you make
Riley
of
Leonard
it?
versus Mike Elko.
Woo!
Yeah, I'm loving it.
Here's my thought, man. My thought is everybody respects Mike Elko. You know he's going to build a good, solid program there. It's just if there's ever a best time to play a Mike Elko team, it'd be Week 1, year 1, right? Get him before he gets everything figured out there. To hell, get him while the getting's good. It's never going to be any easier to face them than Week 1, year 1. It's never going to be easier to play them than that.
I think it'll be a good game.
8 months, and I'm already stressing out about it, man. We have all summer, and I'm here. I'm already worried about it. I'm already mad at the male cheerleaders with the white overalls. I'm already mad about all of it, and it's 8 months away.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Oh, God. Hey, listen, man, I'm going to invite you. Come to the Blue and Gold tailgate. You're local. Free parking. We'll be there all day in front of Frank Leahy. I'll have a big flag. You can't miss it, buddy. Come over.
I actually already bought my ticket to that game, so Should I be down?
There you go. We'll be there all day, early in the morning. Look for my flag and come have a beer and a dog. We'll be around all day, man. Everybody's invited. Everybody's invited. Unless you're a Michigan fan, then you're not invited.
Fact. I got you.
Anything else, man? Thanks for calling today. I love first-time callers. Program the number. Give me a call again, man.
For sure. Last thing, dude, I'm just really excited for this season and where Notre Dame football is going. I've been seeing just heartbreak after heartbreak after heartbreak after heartbreak, and I need one. Before I die, I need one. At least one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying too. Oh yeah, I forgot. Now people are giving me a hard time for saying you were underage, and now I'm going to get in trouble for giving you beer.
Oh,
Never
yeah,
mind.
Beer?
Never mind. I mean, come over and have an ice cold Dr. Pepper. Yeah. Come over and have an ice cold Dr. Pepper and study some science or something. That's what I meant. I'm sorry. I don't want to get us in trouble. I forgot, man. So yeah, we'll have an ice cold Dr. Pepper ready for you. How about that?
Yeah, that sounds good, man.
There we
That
go.
sounds real good.
Hey, man, have a good rest of the week. Thanks for calling. And then I'm not kidding. Show up to the tailgate. You'll see the flag. We'll be there.
I got you.
Have a good one,
Appreciate it, man.
Hey,
y'all have a good day.
Yeah, thank you for the first time call, man. I really do. It means a lot to me to get a new caller, man. Dude, here's the problem with Capri Suns. Like now I'm at the age where the daughter wants to have a Capri Sun, whatever. Bro, I think this pouch is a ripoff. That's what I'm realizing. Even from when I was a kid at Capri Sun, I think that pouch is a ripoff where they get away with giving you less liquid, but it's in this weird little pouch that makes it hard for you to measure. Because as an adult, when I steal one of my kids' Capri Suns, 2 sips and the thing's gone. 2 sips and the thing's gone. That's my theory, is that the bullshit pouch is altering your perception how much liquid is in there because it moves weird and it's not like a juice box and it's not a can. Twinkies are 30% what they used to be. As somebody who has a lot of experience with corporate Hostess inner workings, Hostess Bread, Hostess Wonder Bread, the parent company that owns Twinkies. As somebody with experience in that area with that company from my family, it isn't just the size has gone down, it is the quality. It is the quality. The quality of the Hostess cake from when I was a kid till now, it is night and day. It's almost unedible. It is all of the preservatives and the extra crap to keep it so you can leave it on the shelf longer and it doesn't go bad. The quality between the actual ingredients and the Hostess cake part is 100% down from when I was a little kid and the donuts were like actual donuts and like just you had some. It's really, really disappointing how cheapy they are. And it's just, I don't know. It's just stupid. But that's the way it is, though. You want longer shelf life so you don't have to pull that stuff off the rack. You want it just, and it's just pumped full of the preservatives and all that. Beefeater. Yes. Yes, we have. Why don't you ask Pat about that? Ask Pat about this. I hope he's still in here, and Angela too. Anyone ever play Edward 40 hands? If you don't know what that is, then the answer is no. If you don't know what that is, the answer is no. Yes, we did. Pat's played it. Rudy's been around for it. We are very well of Edward 40 hands. Sugar is a drug. I know. Drugs are drugs too. So if you had to pick one, I'm picking sugar over the drugs. Oh, man. What else did I have here? 818, I'm coming to you. Coming to you next. I heard Pat was a cheerleader in college. Woof. That's what I have to say about that. Woof-tastic, bro. Rodney, what's going on? Kind of a wild Monday morning here, Rodney. We're bouncing all over with these calls. You never know where you're going to go. What's up?
Long time listener, first time caller. Used to watch Tom or listen to Tom Likas in LA. I don't know if you guys, I don't know if that ever came over to Chicago airwaves, but that was something he used to always say whenever it was a new caller calling in.
Yeah. It's good to get new people in here. That's definitely fun. Hey, so Rodney, what do you make of all this, man? Is your mind on any of the NFL stuff? Are you just locked in on what's coming down the road with Notre Dame? Are you connecting the two? Final thoughts on Harbaugh deciding to finally go to the NFL and take off? Wherever you want to go, buddy. It's your dime, your dance floor, as old Chet Kopic would say on the Notre Dame postgame show 20 years ago.
All right, man. Well, let's polka. Let's polka. Yeah, man. A lot of stuff. I saw, the games yesterday. I wanted to see the Ravens and the Lions, and I got the Chiefs and the Niners. My roommate is a 49ers fan, so I was happy for him. Happy for Purdy. It's cool seeing a story like that. Guy who's a 7th. I gotta say too, man, that team and Purdy in general. He's so Purdy. But I can't help but say that.
That was a good one. I see what you did there.
They seem to get better. I mean, they get better as the game goes on. They don't. I'll tell you, here's a Notre Dame something to kind of cross over. Notre Dame all year long started slow, if you remember. Whether it be defense, offense, they always started slow this year. And they seem to, even if they lost, they got better as it went on. And if they won, they certainly got better as it went on.
Wait,
so I'm kind of thinking about that.
Wait, though. Isn't this a home and road split though? I don't feel like it was all the time. I feel like we started slow on the road a lot, but at home it was noticeably better most weeks.
No, John, literally I think every game we play, again, I'm not saying significantly, like it might have just been one series we sputtered, then we caught it the next series, so it wasn't like drastic, but I'm just saying pretty much all year long, we were a slow starting team. If you think about it, we rarely, whether it was driving down and only getting a field goal and we should have gotten a touchdown, or just sputtering and have to punt, or, maybe the defense doesn't even give up any points, but the team, moves down the field on them. It just seemed like all year long we were a bit slow starting. Not to the degree that the Frisco has been the last couple weeks, because they actually basically didn't get going until, quarter 3 and a half.
Now wait, Rodney, let's keep this Notre Dame focused. Because I've spent a lot of time this offseason racking this in my skull. Let me ask you, what do you think are a couple of the causes of Notre Dame having slow starts? The road games are really easy to identify as particularly slow, but I've really been racking my brain around that concept, trying to figure out what goes into the concept of a slow start. And when it's almost every road game you played, it is not like a one-off that I could just throw out when I see a trend that extends throughout most of the entire damn year. I don't know what it is. What leads to that? How do you get in a position where you're not ready to start?
Well, it was like the Navy game, the first game of the year. That's a great example of kind of a microcosm of the whole season. We blew them out that day, but remember the first time we on defense, they had us on our heels a little bit that first drive. And then we went on offense. I think I believe, I'm not 100% if I remember right, I think we sputtered on our first offensive series, then came right back. I can give you the reason on offense. It was Parker. The opposite was when Charlie Weiss was there. Charlie Weiss seemed to always start fast with our teams, and it just got worse as the game went on. In a lot of ways, once the defense kind of figured out his offense or whatever. Remember the Ohio State game in the Fiesta Bowl? We came out 7-0 right away, and then they kind of figured us out. So I think the lack of having I'm not trying to beat up on Parker, but I'm just saying a lack of a good offensive play call plan and distribution of plays. That being that, and I think defensively, Al Gold is just one of those guys that takes him a series or two to figure you out. and then he kind of masters it. I mean, I got a question about that too, John. I want to interject real quick on Golden. So that's my answer. I think it's just we had a bad play caller and we had a really good play caller who just took a series or two to kind of figure you out. Now, and you're right, man. On the road, in terms of the emotional part of it, that's on the head coach, I believe. And I don't know why that happened, because last year it was the opposite. Freeman seemed to have them ready to go on the road, and it was kind of at home where they weren't so good. So maybe it was just a situation where I'm not out there. Obviously, we're not in the locker room, but maybe he just knew we had to overcompensate by really pushing the home game thing. So maybe then just by that, that energy, just naturally you're going to come back to earth a little bit when you go on the road. Yeah. Maybe that's why.
And then
now he just has to punch that back up again.
I struggle with it. Is this aspect of things more of a mentality thing, like a preparation and a mental mentality thing, preparing to go into a hostile battle, like with people that don't like you? Or is it physically? Is there something physically either with the travel or the preparation leading up to away situations where they don't have fresh legs or they need to do something different with that? Is it a blend of both? Also, these are all the things I think about, man. And here's the other part. How much of the obligation of responsibility to be prepared for those environments is Freeman and the staff having proper motivating tactics and having a correct and accurate gauge of where the guys are cranked at the dial and knowing it, versus how much of that is player-led, player leadership, getting those guys ready as captains or whoever the leader is to be ready to go into those environments and kick some ass. These are all the kind of factors that rattle around in my brain when I see the disturbing trend of us coming out not ready to play when the whistle blows.
Man, that's a real, I do think ultimately that it lands on the head coach, because I think it's the head coach. It's just like you're distributing duties among your coaching staff. You're also distributing duties among your captains. Okay. I'm feeling really good about that room, of the captain room. I don't know who we're gonna name, but I mean, I know we got a veteran defensive line coming back. We got a couple of veteran linebackers coming back. We got veterans in the secondary. Flip over the other side of the ball. You got Angeli, who's been there. Whether it's him or Riley Leonard, I really want to see a competition be either one of those two guys. And I know there was a long conversation you and Goldsby had, a very interesting one, by the way, on Kenny Minchie. Fair enough. I'm just talking in terms of just, the older guys, the older guys in the room, if you will, the guys that are, juniors and seniors.
Yeah.
So I feel good about that. I think the wide receiver room, Jayden Thomas is an excellent leader, someone like that. He wasn't there for a lot. He was there, but he wasn't playing. And I think it's different just to be a leader on the sideline as opposed to a leader when you're on the field. The line's going to have some issues with that, probably. Who knows? But because from the sheer fact they're losing both our tackles. But most of the team has a lot of veterans coming back at very key positions. So I think that is all part of it. And it'll be addressed. What I really like about Freeman so far in his tenure, he seems to have fixed the things that were problems the year before. New ones pop up, of course, but he rarely makes the same mistake. I won't say he makes the same mistake twice. Sometimes you are going to make it a couple times, but he doesn't make a third time, if that makes sense. Like he seems to get it right eventually. So there's that. Getting back to Al Golden, though, I was thinking about this. How many years is left on his contract? Do we know this? But I'm forgetting the extension. I'm just saying if it was just the original one.
Yeah, that's a good question.
I don't know.
I don't know, like, if this is the last one and that's why there was a window to re-up or not. Hey, I'm just asking for an update.
Well, that's what I'm wondering,
I just need an update. Give a brother an update, because you know what else, Rodney? This would be the most modern Notre Dame thing ever, for me to sit here like an imbecile and tell everybody, oh, I feel great now that we have an experienced, great guy on offense in Denver, and we balance it out with Al on the other side. That's been my old message since the week of Christmas. And then if it gets all messed up now, I'm going to be pissed off.
Right. Well, it just makes me wonder, is maybe the reason there hasn't been an extension, not necessarily he's going to the NFL, but he just doesn't plan on coaching beyond those 2 years or whatever it is. Let's say it's 2 years left in his contract, or let's say it's a year. Maybe he just doesn't re-up because he doesn't know if he wants to be there another couple of years.
Yeah,
you know,
could
that be?
Yeah,
I mean, everybody just always assumes there's always going to be these.
But what would be the rush though to extend him then? If there was still a couple years left and he might just retire, then why would there need to be a rush to do a new deal when you could finish this deal and have Mickens sliding over? Then you already have a plan. So why would that be the case?
Well, that's exactly my point. I don't know. Is there a rush, or are we just being told that in rumor form? I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Is it really? I don't know.
I just kind of
want. I just don't know.
I kind of want a little closure, just for my own. Like, I just want a little closure. I need a little comfort.
You just kind of want to know, like, whether or not the extension is going to be taken, and like, okay, great. Let's say it's not. Oh, but I'm still coming back. We just want to know: are you staying? Are you leaving? Is an extension? Okay, there's no extension, but I'm coming back. Okay, great. And maybe it's sort of, maybe that's implied because nothing has happened. So maybe we're just assuming he's staying then, right? I mean, it just seems like by now we're left with two teams now, Kansas City and San Francisco. I don't think either one of them are, have any defensive issues, right? They look pretty good.
Yeah.
So I can't, I'm sure we're not waiting on them. So it seems to me by now you either heard something if he was leaving. I feel. I mean, that could be wrong, but it just seems that way.
Yeah. Yep. And it's just it's on my mind, and I'd like to see it kind of come to a close here and get some answers. So I don't know, man. It's that's an interesting dynamic. I know what Notre Dame wants to do. It's just a matter of if that plan all comes to fruition with the Al Golden to Mickens transition. When does that happen? Can you keep Mickens happy and in the fold, give him more money so he doesn't leave until then? Whatever, man. Whatever it is, figure it out. Whatever it is, figure it out.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Maybe that's why there hasn't been extension, because maybe there is that talk behind closed doors. Well, if we extend them, then we're basically telling Mickens, sorry, I guess you're going to have to wait 2 or 3 more years. You know what I mean? So maybe that's why. Maybe it's like, okay, he's probably coming back for another year. I'm just saying. This is just me, just spitballing here. But yeah, okay, you're coming back next year, and kind of implied that after this year, maybe Golden either retires or he goes back to the NFL, or who the hell knows? And then Mickens, takes over, or then maybe next year Golden's like, I'm not actually doing extend, and then Mickens like, okay, I need to get a defensive coordinator gig, so I'm going to this school. But I don't know. But I feel like by now, I don't want to jump ahead. It seems like we're always, waiting for the other shoe to drop, but I think the staff as is probably coming back at this point on both sides of the ball. I think that's kind of implied now.
Yeah, I hope you're right.
Great. That's the case.
I hope you're right. It would be a
as
very,
far as Michigan
very
goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Sharon Moore was the right guy. I mean, I just couldn't. Can you imagine Brian Kelly going to Michigan? That would just be. I don't even know where I would go with that one.
But
it doesn't even make sense either, John. It's
Rodney, you know what's funny, though? It's like, okay, yeah, Sharon Moore is the young, energetic guy, did good when Harbaugh was out, beat Ryan Day, pantsed him in front of All-America. Yeah, I know. I saw that shit, too. But I also saw all of the pictures of Connor Stallions standing by Sharon Moore, telling him what to do with his big binder. So I get that Sharon Moore has the job, but we're acting like he didn't benefit. It wasn't in on the Connor Stallions thing. It all makes me sick. It all makes me
totally,
sick.
Dude,
but if we're all going to act like he wasn't getting the plays from a low-level analyst standing right next to him with an 8-inch binder, fine. But I'm supposed to believe he didn't know nothing about it. Now he's going to clean things up. Kiss my anus. No.
So, how do you find a way to go?
I'm sick of this situation. I'm sick of this situation. It just makes me mad every day. Every day there's a new angle that pisses me off about it. And all the Michigan people now are crying about, we're losing our coach and our strength guy left and everything's falling apart. Shut the hell up. You got away with murder. You got away with murder more than USC's best player. Give me a break.
Okay, so they did lose the strength and conditioning coach. I didn't hear if that was happening. Well, you know what, man? This is what I think. I mean, look, Ryan Day took over for Urban Meyer, and so other than losing to Michigan 3 or 4 years, he's done just fine. Does that mean that's going to be Sharon Moore at Michigan? I don't know. Probably not. My guess is it's probably going to be more along David Shaw. Probably really good for a couple of years, right? And then it kind of starts to wane. They say it usually lasts about a year and a half. You have someone who I guess we'll call him a legend at Michigan. Harbaugh. And I'm also kind of the opinion, and we can change subjects here real quick. I'm not so sure we're just, everybody's so high on him right now, going to the Chargers and whatnot. And, they're ready to win. And I'm wondering, part of the reason I think Harbaugh has done so well is when his back is sort of against the wall. It seems like he performs at his best when people doubt him. I mean, again, when he took over Michigan, everybody just assumed, he's just going to start winning national titles. It took him a while, man. And I'm like, maybe that was because he, I don't know, it just seems like when he took the San Francisco job, I don't know that people thought, for sure San Francisco's going to be the winner. They didn't know how he was going to perform as the head coach in the NFL, and then he kind of proved some people wrong. Came to Michigan. It didn't happen right away. It happened when after the COVID year, when things got really bad, he knew he had to do something right. Now that everybody's like, you're, worshiping him and bowing to him now all of a sudden, maybe things won't be so easy in San Diego, or not San Diego, Los Angeles, excuse me.
Yeah.
I don't know. These are just random thoughts, you know, and I just think with Sharon Moore, I think he's the right guy for the job.
He is.
But, and hats off to what he was able to do, but I don't think it's going to be easy for him either, man, to maintain that. He'll be good, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy. And the schedules get harder, everything changes. It's a whole new dynamic. He is the right guy, though. The worst thing Michigan could do is let that drag on and then make it a big cert. They did the right thing by just doing this. But the whole thing bothers me. So I don't know, man. But hey, thanks for the call on a Monday. I appreciate it.
Yeah, anytime, John. And just one last thought, just on the whole, you're getting back to the Louisville and Clemson. I still think that had more to do with really, really bad scheduling, man, than anything else. Not giving them excuses. They should have been ready to go.
No, you're right.
But we didn't even talk about that. I think the scheduling had a ton to do with being ready to go on those days.
You're right.
Have a good one, John.
Dude, I think I actually did a Patreon on that saying it isn't always about who you play, but when in the season you play them and how much that changes, the feel of everything. So really good point by you, man. Hey, have a good week.
You too, buddy. Take care.
Take care. 651, have a little fun. What's going on today?
Not much. Just have the day off, so just relaxing. Do you know anything more about Ricky Rubio?
Not really. What was it? Personal stuff, personal reasons? What was that blurb I read?
Yeah, because I didn't get to hear much, whether it's maybe grades or personal or what's going on. Because I don't think I heard he didn't transfer anywhere. So
I have not heard anything, but when I hear the way that was presented, then it comes off as like either a personal issue or a family issue, like sometimes a mental health situation with the player is now something that's a little more common, or sometimes it's a family problem or sometimes a grade problem. But I have not heard any more details about it. I haven't heard a word, actually. Yeah, and you threw me off. I'm like, Ricky Rubio, isn't that a basketball player? But yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I have not heard any more details on that. Good question.
Okay. I hope all is well with him, whatever's going on. Hopefully, we see him again.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm curious to see how everything works out. Unfortunately, I was kind of right with the win-loss thing.
Yeah,
I was like 9 or 10, leaning towards 9.
Do you feel, as we enter the new playoff era with things changing as much as they're going to, do you think the 12-teamer helps or hurts Notre Dame in proximity to winning their next title? It's easier to get in, but harder to win when you're in. Right? And so, like, how do you look at that? What do you think the odds are Notre Dame can make a 4-game run against top 12 teams that late in the year? I don't know.
Yeah, it'll be interesting how our schedules end up, or if conference championships kind of fade away, or however that's all going to pan out.
Yeah, there are going to
But I'm surprised we didn't have that fine print of, if we're number one or ranked one, blah, blah, blah overall, then we, get a bye. But otherwise, if we're 2 or 3 or 4, then sure, we'll
You know what,
get
man?
a 5. But
I thought of that. That's what I would have negotiated. If I'm Jack, I would have went in there saying, we're Notre Dame, we don't want any restrictions. We rank where we rank, understanding that that's our original position. They're going to counter. Then when they go, oh, you're Notre Dame, you're never playing a 13th game, conference title game, so you can't be number one no matter what. You can't get a bye. My middle ground would have been for Jack to say, how about this? If we're 12-0, we could get a bye. But if we have one loss even and we're in the top 4, no bye. So make a path, but Notre Dame literally has to be perfect to earn that bye. And if they lose a game, they don't get it. So that's what I would have negotiated for if I was Jack, rather than just giving in to the no bye no matter what.
mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
Yeah, and hopefully our offense looks better. As for the quarterback situation, it's kind of another question mark. As far as Leonard, it's hopefully he gels right and stays healthy.
Okay, here's 2 things on that. Number one is his skill set, since he can run and pass, there's a lot more meat on the bone to work with to make that offense look a little more diverse. Also, I do trust whatever Denbrock's going to pull together a lot more than I do anything from Mr. Troy over there. So I think you're in a better spot there. I do. I just think you're in a better spot there. And it's got to look better. How could it not almost? I'm scared to ask that.
Somewhere still up. So, hopefully people make plays and that pans out. But,
Man, I think
Notre
Dame,
as far as the coach,
Notre Dame's defense.
That was interesting.
Notre Dame's defense is going to be good again. They're going to be really, really good. It's just a matter of how good, and then how good can that offense be to support them.
Young has me excited.
Oh, man.
That defensive line.
He's huge.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
He's huge. And he has the NFL pedigree. The question's going to be, can they find a role for him this year? Or is he, even with his advanced size, a year in the waiting? Or are there spots where with his frame, you could use him already even though he's raw?
Yeah, I say, give him a taste. You got to give him at least a play or 2.
Yeah,
in there.
That's an NFL guy. And so you got that frame, you got that, all the genes there, the good NFL genes. Like, that's an NFL guy. So you got to get him to support you as much as you can before he goes and does that. Like, I don't know, man. And so, I don't know. This is
I'm excited with twitchier, a little twitchier up front now. So that's always nice when you're got a little move and give a little okey doke.
Yep, it's going to be good. So I don't know, man. I'm excited about this new playoff era, but I do have certain hesitations. I'm a little nervous about how Notre Dame's going to fare within it as well. But I don't know, man. We're going to see year 3, historically big year for Notre Dame coaches. All these big changes. We're ready to kind of turn the page here. I'm ready to start seeing some results of all this work.
I know. Hopefully we start, what's the old phrase? You can't start winning until you stop losing.
Man, ain't that the realest thing? Even, where I think about that phrase is not overall, but with the big games. You know what I mean? Like the marquee game, talking about Ohio State the last 2 years. I'm talking about Kelly against Georgia both of those years. Those games, you can't start winning any till you stop losing them. And we have not been able to do that. I'm not talking about in that range of pretty good. I'm talking about the game on your schedule that has to be the one. It was Ohio State. It was Georgia, those type of ones. We have got to find a way to break through and get over the hump there. And we haven't done it. It's the next step. Notre Dame's got to bust through that and start winning some of those games. If you do, off to the races.
we saw the life against Ohio State when Estime got that first down, but then, you know, blah, 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 we fumbled it. But we were there. We were in position to do it. So the team can do it. Now, as for that Louisville loss.
All you had to do was hand the ball off to Estime until you couldn't anymore. That's all you had to do. You didn't have to think about nothing else. You didn't have to outthink anybody. All you had to do is hand the ball to a guy who was put on God's green earth to run the ball in that moment. You didn't have to think. You didn't have to do anything. Hand the ball to that guy who God made to carry a football in that exact moment.
Yep. My first thought was, oh, do it again. Line up. I'm like, why is he going out? What are they doing? What the hell was that?
That's all you had to do. That's all you had to do. And they didn't do it. And I'm having an aneurysm all over again.
They were really stopping us on the run. Yeah.
So that's a big deal. I truly believe if Notre Dame could make the plays to be the team to emerge on top in one of those moments, I got a feeling all it might take is one. And if you could get one, then it opens the floodgates and it's off to the races, okay? But you need to get the one. What Notre Dame team is going to be the one going, you know what? We are sick of never winning any of these big game moments that built the entire history of Notre Dame football. Gotta flip the script somehow.
Yep. And then, obviously with the champions, seeing them go as far as they did, that was slightly surprising, but in a way, that's how their season was set up. So, it is what it is.
Yeah. And so I don't know, man, this is going to be really, really interesting. It is a big year for Notre Dame. It's a big year for Marcus Freeman. It's a big year for college football with all these large scale changes. So I'm very interested to see how it goes, man. I don't know how it's going to go, but it's got to be, we got to get this, all these struggles the last 2 years. It's time to start seeing some pay dirt here. We got to get this stuff to turn back around. Let's go. It's time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I like that Marcus is leading the charge because, he's definitely working hard.
Yeah, that's the one thing.
Headman.
It's the number one thing you can't question. You could question if he's developed further enough as a coach or things you want him to do different, manage the clock, play calling, whatever it is. The one thing you can't question is the work ethic of this staff. It's exactly what I would ask for, and I appreciate and I respect the hell out of it. Those guys work their asses off.
Exactly.
They do.
It's beautiful.
Hey, man, thanks for calling on a Monday morning. I appreciate it. Give me a call again.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Glad we could catch up. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been almost a year, man, late August. So make sure you touch base more often from now on, all right?
Yep. Well, we'll see if my predictions are right again.
There you go, man. Hey, thank you. Have a good week, buddy. Take care.
All right, you too. God bless.
Yep, you too. See ya. Man, I got nice people that call saying God bless you and whatnot. What's up, Pat?
You suck anus. How's that for nice?
I mean, hey, what's it? I don't want to say ass. It's just another word for ass.
The only
No big
non-chicken finger thing you'll eat.
No big deal.
There you go, Mark, with glasses. You say I don't call in because I'm dry. Only a couple days left with that.
Yeah, you need to be a lot less sober. Okay, you're really putting a drain on the whole. You're really putting a drain on the whole vibe when you're all normal and stuff. Like nobody's here for that, Pat.
It's 10:43 in the morning. What do you want from me?
No. We can hear the sobriety from you long term, and we don't like it. We can hear it. Like we can hear it. What?
I'm actually, I might extend this now that because I went to the bar again. My routines haven't changed, but now I just sit in the bar and drink water and watch the football games and stuff. And I'm enjoying it. It's kind of nice. I might just give up drinking altogether.
Oh man, and you just kind of watch everybody else do it, and yeah, man, I'm impressed by the self-control.
One eye was hammered last night, and so that was enjoyable to watch. And so it's just and I just like man, I'm not an idiot.
Yeah. That is.
I still,
that
believe
is
it or
good.
not, I still buy rounds of beers for my friends, even though I'm not drinking.
I
and
believe
still tip the
that.
bartenders.
I'm gonna vouch for Pat, and I know that's probably true. I'll vouch for Pat on that.
Yep.
Also, you guys need to understand, he ain't wandering into a random bar in Manhattan, taking up a bar seat, not ordering anything. It's a country club thing. Everybody knows the bartender. Everybody knows everybody, like that type of deal. It's not Pat being rude,
Yeah.
and I'm sure he's paying for some of those rounds.
Absolutely.
Oh,
I definitely haven't saved. I saved a little bit of money, but not normally what you would expect of me.
yeah. But hey, good for you, man. You take anything out of these the playoff games or anything of interest, tie it back to Notre Dame? What's on your mind right now?
Well, I wish Kyle Hamilton. I wish he had a better outcome. I do think he's the best safety in the NFL with my limited NFL watching. But he, when you're going against the best quarterback in the NFL and the best tight end in the NFL, you got a tall order. So while he didn't have the greatest games against Kelsey, who has, and I don't ever remember seeing Kelsey wide open when Hamilton was supposed to be covering him. So all those catches were contested. So
yeah,
I just think it was, you're just playing against forces there that are difficult. So I feel bad for him. I thought overall he played a fantastic game. It's just what are you going to do? You're really just at a disadvantage regardless.
Yeah.
Franco had a great game. It was good to see. Aaron Banks. People remember Aaron Banks. He's a left guard for the Niners. I was reading stuff that they say he solidified that offensive line and made it a lot better than what it was. So props to him. And so now you do have two Notre Dame guys going head to head. Two guys that play together, Franco and Banks, going head to head in the Super Bowl. So
yeah. Yep, it'll be interesting, man. I don't get emotional over the NFL, man. All the things that make me mad and get me fired up, the NFL, there's no result in the NFL that's really going to do that. I don't care. It just doesn't. And the Bears, I watch every game, Pat, but it doesn't affect me. Like I watch.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't care.
I watch, but I don't get mad at the result. Like it just doesn't. So the NFL doesn't do much for me. It's stress-free football is what it's good for. Stress-free football.
The only thing exactly. The only thing I cared about last night is I wanted Detroit to lose. And I think I was the only person in the bar that wanted Detroit to lose. But I am just so sick of Michigan people.
Yeah.
And I did not want them to have it all. I couldn't do that. They cannot conquer the football world. That is not acceptable to me.
Yeah.
Especially the way Michigan did it. So no, I wanted Detroit to lose. I couldn't take it.
Yeah. And you know what?
And then the Taylor Swift stuff. I don't understand why people blame her. All right, I don't get it. She's not doing it. She's sitting up in a booth. She's usually trying to sit as far back as she can to make it hard for the camera to see her.
That's a bad argument. I would never argue. But I would never argue it's her. I argue that it's the NFL and the TV networks that I have a problem with.
Agree.
For
making
it
I totally agree with that.
I just don't, Pat. I don't care who you. It rubs people the wrong way when they tune in for one thing and they're force-fed the total opposite 20 times. That's not what they're there for. That's not what they asked for. That's why people don't like it. Now, I understand, though, it's boosting the ratings and the revenue and whatever. Nobody cares. Nobody cares what a bunch of bitter, white, 42-year-old men on their couch think. Okay? Nobody cares.
The Chiefs have sold, right, exactly. The Chiefs have sold $333 million of more merchandise than they did at this point last year.
Yeah. Yeah, it's wild. Yeah. But you can't.
The NFL and the networks not to push this stuff.
But no, I don't understand though. On Pat, this is a big thing on Twitter. I know you got off to it. It's a big debate on Twitter. You're an idiot. You're a jerk if you don't like this or whatever, like bitter white man syndrome, that kind of thing. I do understand though, when I turn in for football, it ain't the dating game. I do not give two shits who the players are dating or whatever. I'm there for football. It doesn't matter to me who they're sleeping with and they put them on TV. I'm there for the football.
I agree.
That's my angle. I'm tuning in
see...
for the football. I would rather see a replay of Kelsey's catch than a bunch of girls jumping in the booth. No, I don't care about that. I don't care.
I do agree with that. I will say I don't mind seeing player wives. I don't mind. Just like golf, my wife always says after a tournament ends, why are you still watching? I say, well, I just want to see what his wife looks like.
Yeah.
You know, I don't, or like NASCAR drivers, you know, I don't watch a NASCAR race. I just wait to see at the end what their wife looks like. I don't mind to see that. Otherwise, for the most part, during the game, I don't need to see it.
Here's what I want, Pat. Let's make this fair. That big World's Taylor Swift tour, everybody there is there for her music, her performance. Randomly, we're just going to show Kelsey clips instead of her singing. There's going to be snippets of him making highlights. How are those people going to react when they get less of what they want and more of, just because she's dating a football player, we're going to make them look at him.
Okay. This is where your argument is flawed. Nobody is going to Taylor Swift concerts. Nobody wants to go see Taylor Swift, her movie tour or whatever the hell that was. Nobody wants to see that, hoping that they're going to see Jason Kelsey. People are tuning into Chiefs games, hoping they're going to see Taylor Swift. People are buying NFL. No NFL fans.
I just hate it.
No NFL fans are buying Taylor Swift stuff because of Travis Kelsey. But the reverse is happening. And so, of course, CBS and NBC and Fox and ESPN are all going to show her because it's clicks for them. It's money for them.
Man,
they're expanding to a new audience.
Can't we just have anything? Like, dude, I just want to watch some guys crack skulls. Can't we just have that for a few hours?
John, they stopped cracking skulls a long time ago. Now it's a powder puff league.
You know, and then Pat, the other thing, let's be honest.
John, think of how impressive this is. You're talking about a singer. You're talking about a singer. Now, we grew up there in like Britney and Christina and Jessica Simpson. You know, we saw what we thought was like the biggest pop movement. You know, Madonna was, you know, she was just an old whore at that time and never really changed. But, you know, we growing up, we saw all these people.
Yeah.
And I don't think none of them would have moved the needle like Taylor Swift does. You are talking about she's taking the biggest entertainment industry in the world. The NFL makes more money than anybody. And she added more than $250 million to it. If that's not impressive, I don't know what is.
Yeah. No,
that's
hey,
crazy.
it is. And you know what else too? If you're gonna show the booth of like whatever, I would much rather you showed Taylor Swift than just Mahomes' dumb wife who hasn't done anything. At least she is elite. At least she has created her own path off her own skill set and is worldwide number one elite at what she does. And she works her ass off to do it. What in the hell did Mahomes' wife do to deserve to be seen in the booth? Bone him? Big deal. That ain't a skill set. That ain't a skill set.
And whatever. I'm not gonna beat up on Mahomes' wife, but and don't forget Notre Dame fans. Taylor Swift, she's a Domer. Her brother went to Notre Dame. She has attended several Notre Dame games.
Well, you know what? Then here's what we're doing, Pat. She's coming to the tailgate. She's coming to the blue and gold tailgate. She's gonna be on the back of that.
That's what you got to do. You got to get your show in front of her birthday, her brother.
She's going to be chugging beer bongs with us on the back of that tailgate on that pickup truck this year, buddy. Yeah.
Shot. Her and Travis Kelsey.
But hey, listen, she is really, really talented. If anybody deserves any TV time, fine. It's just a matter of like the difference. Did you see when they showed Eminem last week at the Lions game? They showed him in the stands, Eminem. And people were saying, Pat, you're hypocritical if you're happy to see Eminem on the screen, but mad when they show Taylor, you're a white hypocrite male, you know, that whole thing. And then my response was, those are not related at all. One, he's from that town. 2, he has a
Yeah, he's from
documented
Detroit.
history of loving football and the Lions. All of that makes him being involved make total sense.
But
Just
also,
because you're boning the
funny thing
tight
about-
end doesn't give you a connection to the football team. It just means you're boning the tight end. That
The
doesn't mean
funny
you
thing about
love
the
the
Eminem comparison,
game or the team. That's what bothers me.
What I like about the Eminem comparison, though, John, is they're saying, "Oh, if Eminem is okay and Taylor Swift is not, you're just an old white male." So my dad can't stand Eminem. I know you and I grew up with it, so it's a little different. But old white men don't like Eminem just as much as they don't like Taylor Swift.
That's a good point.
He doesn't necessarily drive with that narrative.
Yeah,
I think it's
that's a
so
good
ridiculous.
one. So, anyways, I don't know. Listen, Taylor Swift's really, really talented. It just annoys me that somebody who doesn't care about football. It just annoys people that someone who doesn't care about football, doesn't care about the Chiefs, just because she's dating somebody, the whole dynamic changes just because that just bothers people. And I get it, but you know what? She's talented at what she does. Whatever, let her have fun. It ain't gonna ruin my day. It ain't gonna ruin my day.
Right. It's just one of the, it's one of the many things I just don't care about. I just don't care. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
It's crazy. I just think it's impressive the amount of revenue she has generated for the NFL. If anything, I'm Taylor Swift. I'm pissed off. Where's my cut of that $250 million that I helped you make?
But man,
where's my cut?
I would much rather they focus on her than the Mahomes family with the brother and the wife. That's 100%.
The brothers.
Bother me.
That's entertaining stuff.
They bother me. The
Yeah.
wife and the brother are they bother me. So I'd much rather see her. So Pat, I don't know, buddy, but I think we need to get past the end of the month that I need to come out there and we need to break you back in on the Miller Lite tour.
Yeah. So I'm out the rest. You're not going to see me the rest of the week. I have to go to San Diego for work. So I won't be here Wednesday, Friday, or if you're doing a Saturday night show, I'm not available.
Well, hey, good for you getting the hell out of here. You're going to a good place. Good for you.
Yeah, when I get it's for work. I was going to try to golf out there, but apparently it's really hard to get a tee time when they just have they just had the farmers insurance.
A lot of people still around.
No golf for Pat. Yeah, a lot of people still around playing golf.
Well then, safe travels. Get in there. Do what you got to do.
Yeah. Hey, well, hold on. I got one more thing for the Irish faithful. So I remember how everyone reacted when 4 wide receivers transferred out of the program at the end of the season. Remember, Notre Dame is at 90 or 91 scholarship players on the team right now. So expect them over the offseason to lose 6 to 7 players.
Yeah.
Okay. Doesn't mean the world is burning down. It means they have to. Yeah. And I wouldn't be surprised if it goes up as high. I think it's going to be about 7. But Freeman likes to keep a scholarship in his pocket. So when he has a kid from the lacrosse team start catching more passes than anyone else, he can put him on scholarship. They have him fully involved with the team. So don't be surprised if you go down to 83 or 84 scholarships. That's going to be by design, and there's probably going to be a player or two that leaves that nobody is expecting to leave. It's still by design. So everyone, when you start to see transfers happen, don't freak out.
Yeah. Nope, that's coming. And it'll probably, the bulk of that will happen right after spring ball because those guys are going to know their pecking order, and the ones that aren't going to have a chance to see the field are going to leave. So that'll probably be it.
That's when the majority.
Yeah. But you are right. There are 5 or 6 over
that
now.
Have to go because of, there'll be a kid or two that has to go because of grades or to get in trouble or stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I do want to point out, since BK left, and I don't necessarily want to correlate this, but we really haven't had the issues of kids getting in fights or kids getting thrown out because they're running from cops. Tommy Reese, stuff.
You don't have that.
We haven't
really
seen that much of that lately. We have a small sample size right now, but this stuff does. And I don't want to correlate that to BK. When you're dealing with 100 kids every year, you're going to get 1 or 2 bad apples. But it's interesting to see that has kind of not happened lately.
Yeah. Nope. Yeah. It's a fair point, and everybody should expect that. Know that scholarship number, and you got to shed some. I expect it to be right after they figure out where they're going to be on the chart after spring. Pat, safe travels to the West Coast, brother. Let me know when you're back.
Later, Johnny.
Later. Be
Yep.
safe.
Bye.
Take care. Oh man, dude, I don't have anything against Taylor Swift. I think it's just the idea of like, bro, I like what I like. I'm here for that. Don't give me what I'm not asking for. Is that fair? Is that fair? I tune in for football. I don't care about anything else. I just want it football-y. I don't care who one of the players is dating. That has nothing to do with football. I want to see football. Their sex life and who they're dating has nothing to do with the game. It just seems weird you would show it. I don't care. I don't care. Here for football. Sorry. All right. And then we went back to when, I'm going to wrap up on this. We went back to starting slow, whatever. Sir Lucas says, and I said Freeman and the staff and how you're doing this and that or whatever. So Sir Luke says, it's not Freeman and the staff. It's Free Pass. He's the supposed leader. All right. So let me say this. You're going to nail Freeman for the slow starts, the road losses last year, whatever. It's his fault. Not even the guy's ready, whatever. But Sir Lucas, when you beat USC when they were undefeated and had the Heisman guy this year and you kicked the shit out of them, did you give Freeman, the supposed leader, the credit then? When they beat undefeated top 4 ranked Clemson at our place last year, did you give Free Pass, the supposed leader, credit for that? I'm just asking for fair consistency. I understand that USC ended up not being good. However, you guys, we got to be intellectually honest about this. It's amazing how the bar changes for Freeman. The fucking bar for Kelly was do whatever you want and the Notre Dame people will carry your water forever. Freeman comes in here, wins more top 5 games in 2 years than Kelly did in 12, and people are riding his ass. I fucking don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. Kelly skated doing dick, and people just bowed down to him and told me I'm an asshole and he's as good as Notre Dame could get and we should all just take it because this is as good as it is because it's hard to win in Notre Dame. We were supposed to accept anything Kelly did. Now Freeman's doing this, and even when he gets top 5 wins, now there's reasons they're not good enough. There's angles here, and I just can't figure out what they are. But there's no consistency. Freeman has as many top 5 wins in 2 years as Kelly did in 12, and people are finding reasons to discredit it instead of credit it. I just don't understand the double standard. There were totally different standards of what was expected of Kelly than Freeman, and I just don't get it. I really don't. And again, I said a few minutes ago, a lot of this is about when you play teams. That is why the excuse of USC ending up being kind of bad last year doesn't apply. See, you guys are being disingenuous. I'm not letting you do it. You're picking your angle, and it's being disingenuous. Follow me. Both Clemson the year before 22, and then USC this year. Both of them were undefeated, ranked very high when we played them. It ended up being, we found out later, both of those teams were extremely flawed and not worthy of that ranking when we played them. But when we played them, they were undefeated, getting all the credibility, and they were undefeated when we played both of them and beat them. You guys are acting like we played both of them after they had 4 or 5 losses. We're the ones who jump-started all those losses. When you play teams has everything to do with it. I'm not letting you look at their final record, and then when we played them, they were undefeated with all the momentum and everything, and then you're saying I don't understand why Kelly got away with murder and treating people like shit. And people carried the guy's water forever and told me, John, it's Notre Dame. This is the best we could do. It's hard to recruit. You know, there's no gas in the jet for the guy to go recruit. Freeman comes in here and he's got to be 12-0 every year. Everything's perfect. Because why? No idea. I have no idea why. I'm out of here. Dr. John, you're right. This is going to piss me off. I'm out of here. Lively show for a Monday. I actually really enjoyed this. Very lively. See ya.